This is the Transparency Podcast Show.
Yeah, so that's why I feel a lot of Main Street people's perspective, they have their own belief, which, okay, that's fine. I respect that. But I think they should open their, zoom out and see really what's going on. They probably have an image of a trans person, what they look like. Because yeah, I'll probably show a text message that I have. Recently, go on a dating site and guys who saw my picture and then they then read my profile.
Yeah.
Many times happens that way. And then when I, maybe try to meet and I have to making sure they know first. And then I say, really, you are trans? I cannot believe it. You used to be a man, something like that.
Yeah.
And my response is, well, because our society kind of give a misimage or a misunderstanding of a trans person, woman or man, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Have a stereotype. So that means it make people only seeing one side of it.
Yeah.
So when it comes to politics, I just want to give it this disclaimer, okay? Because I don't want to sound, because many people already kind of suggest me I should, talk about politics, and I don't want to sound like contradict to myself.
Yeah.
So I've been kind of not battling, but kind of think, where should I take this direction? Because I certain things like I'm a pro business, I'm a pro choice, pro freedom. That may be on one side, and then but I'm also into rights,
Yeah.
Human rights, trans rights. Okay, so I'm kind of struggling myself, and then I all of a sudden it hits me. I said, wait a minute, why do I have to choose one side? And this is what happened to our society. They've kind of make us to choose one side and dislike the other side. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I think so that's why I'm gonna proceed this more neutral way, in the middle. So back to what we're gonna talk about. Okay, so trans right, a lot of politic climax going on. Have you got any different treatments affected in your personal life?
Yeah. So right now, politics and legislatively, trans people are being attacked,
Right.
almost a form of legal genocide, especially actually trans masculine individuals. And that's kind of an unknown story that folks are not talking about, because simultaneously, folks are attacking rights on HRT, access to healthcare, access to EMTs if we're shot, and not even giving us health, care to actually survive that gunshot wound.
Right.
Simultaneously, you're seeing rhetoric increase from certain politicians that are actually calling for things like our genocide. And then on top of it, you've got the issue of abortion rights, which most folks are looking at that as just cisgender women. But a lot of folks, including myself, actually need access to that, because especially with my incident, if I didn't have things like Plan B and the care that I needed, I could possibly have bled out. I could have possibly be, carrying a child right here.
Right.
There's so many different layers to what's going on legislatively. And unfortunately, because of the way that cisgender women are treated in this country, that trickles down to trans men as well. And that patriarchal, hierarchical structure still exists within our community and as the greater world at large too. And it just seems to be quite unique, because folks will tend to, again, look at folks like myself or other folks that are, passing and living these lives, but they're not really diving deep into what's actually affecting us. And it's really unfortunate that conversation isn't being had. And that's a big reason, why I wanted to write this book, is to really bring the awareness to the layers of what trans men face. Because I know that there's so many folks out there that can even look at my life and go, well, you've got this and you've got that and you've got this. But in reality, I'm still trans at the end of the day. There's still people that want to harm me just because I exist, no matter what privilege or access I have. And that's kind of unfortunate, because we even see folks in our own community that are kind of siding with some really unfortunate rhetoric that is really harmful to our community, in this idea that somehow it's going to prevent them from being targeted by these groups. But throughout history, I mean, this book talks about 1933, the Sexology Institute in Germany. That's actually a big reason why it was released on May 6th, is because that was the day that the books were burned, and I wanted to write a book and release a book that same day to kind of reset the energy inertia for our community. And all of these subject matters throughout time, we've already had them written down about where we were going, women's rights, trans rights, gay rights. We already had a beautiful history, and it was erased by the Nazis. And what we're seeing with rhetoric today is exactly the same patterns. Exactly the same. You can follow it so much so that we're allegedly in stage 8 of genocide right now. We're 2 steps away from folks actually. Doesn't matter if you're a trans Republican, like someone like Caitlyn Jenner, who thinks that she can avoid her privilege and access and, kind of make folks feel a certain way that they're connecting with her because of her certain views. But at the end of the day, those folks are going to come for you too. They're already coming for folks that are in interracial marriages. They're already coming for so many different rights simultaneously. And if we actually take a look again at what happened in 1933 with the brown shirts, is what they were called, it's the same thing that's going on with these patriot guys that are, running around with masks on and harming people. And it's so concerning to me, because to me, I love America. I'm very much an American.
Yes.
To a degree, even in my advocacy, I can see it as a form of serving my country, with serving and fighting for rights in the way that I have.